Hello, and welcome to the AgriBusiness Global Report. My name is Sarah Webb. I'm editor of AgriBusiness Global and host of today's show. In this segment, I speak with Jim DeLisi, chief of Fanwood Chemical, about the recent IEEPA tariff refund updates, what this means for the industry, and more. Thanks for joining. Jim, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you talk to me a little bit about the most recent update with the IEEPA tariff refunds?
On Monday, Customs opened up a portal to accept requests for refunds for all the IEEPA tariffs. This would cover for India, it got up to 25% on the reciprocity tariffs. It would cover the Russia oil tariffs. For China, it would cover the fentanyl tariffs and the reciprocity tariffs. And for every place else in the world, all the reciprocity tariffs would be covered for refunds. The 301 tariffs that the President Trump put in place in 2019 and 2020 would not be covered. And the 225 tariffs on steel and aluminum and other materials, including copper salts, are not covered by the refund process. But you need to understand there's $170 billion in funds to be returned under this process. And I had to write the number out. It's 170 with 9 zeros. You can bet there's going to be some hoops to jump through.
Mm-hmm.
The eligible persons to file for such refunds is the actual importer of record who paid the funds or the customs broker that filed the paperwork. If you've changed your customs broker over the last year or so, that may cause some issues unless you file the paperwork yourself. You need to have your bank information needs to be current in the ACE Secure Data Portal because all funds will be returned to that portal, and whatever in there is going to get the money. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to go online to a website. If you Google Customs IEEPA refunds, it will take you to the website. And make sure you go to if you do it that way, make sure you go to the Customs website because there's all sorts of stuff turning up. Whenever the United States announces it's going to refund $170 billion, you can bet there'll be frauds and charlatans coming out of the woodwork to try to grab as much of the money as they can. But supposedly what you will need to do is file a comma separated list of the entry numbers. And once those entry numbers are filed, they will go through and the refunds should be automatically issued based against those reference numbers within 60 to 90 days of filing. Now, for more complicated entries, may require manual handling, which will take forever. And it's been reported and said that entries that contain a product that's subject to dumping margins will also take additional time because they may have to be handled manually. And for ag chemicals, that's spelled 24D. I don't think there's any other agrochemicals that are subject to dumping margins, but I know some of our folks deal in equipment and other kinds of things where there could be dumping margins in place. So basically, if you go on that website and hopefully follow the yellow brick road, there will be money. Now, what's only being covered right now is entries that have not been fully liquidated. For entries that have been liquidated, they're going to have a more complicated procedure. They hopefully will figure out a way to do it without having to file individual protests for each of the liquidated entries. But stay tuned. I suspect we're at least a month or so away from even having an idea what the process is going to be for liquidated entries. But this piece of the pie should represent someplace between 60 and 65% of all of the eligible entries for refunds. So it's a big piece of the puzzle, and hopefully it will go smoothly and you will get your money back. And then comes the real fun part, because that money is only going back to the importer of record. And then you have to decide how to handle it between you and your customers. So that part of it is going to be just almost as complicated as actually getting your hands on the money. So Sarah, that's an update as to where we are. It's a big change and a welcome change because last time we talked about this, we thought there was a chance that the government was going to appeal the decision because the word refund is not in the Supreme Court decision that rejected these tariffs.
Thank you for sitting down with me and providing that update, Jim. I appreciate it.
Okay, wish all our listeners great luck and happy spending.
Thanks again for joining for this segment of the Agribusiness Global Report. I'm your host, Sarah Webb. Until next time.